Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast today. Profitable faith, harnessing belief for business triumph. And so I'm going to start off with some questions. If you haven't, before I start off with the questions, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, subscribe over to the podcast. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and all those podcast stations. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Healthy Accountant. Follow us on Instagram at The Healthy Accountant, and also follow us here on Facebook, Official Healthy Accountant, and on Twitter, JAYM_CPA. So that's JM_CPA on Twitter, or known as X now. So let's get into this profitable faith. So I was thinking this morning about faith. And as I was thinking about faith and I'm thinking about business, and then I'm kind of drawn to some information that I came into, I think in 2022, book written by Rabbi Daniel Lapin, not Thou Shalt Prosper, but The Business Secrets of the Bible. And in that book, he lay out a lot of things that the Jewish culture kind of believes in, some of the things that he understands of the Bible and how a lot of times it's misconstrued. And so there was this one piece of it where it really captured my attention when he was describing a person going into business. And in the Jewish culture, a person who's going into business, guess what they call them? They called them a man of faith. What? Yeah, they call a business owner a man of faith or woman of faith, because a man or woman that has faith that their thing is going to sell. Like they don't know that it will, but they're going to go after it anyway. And then I was just like, wow, when I first saw that, I was just like, that is interesting that a business owner would be considered a person of high faith. High faith. Why? Because they have to leave the security of one of those things we call jobs. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, right? So we're talking about harnessing now. Harnessing what we need in order to have the business triumph. So harnessing belief, right? Harnessing belief. Like, what is a harness? What is a harness? Now, I'm not going to look it up, but based on what I understand a harness is like, hey, if I was getting on a horse and I needed to ride the horse, I need to grab the harness, right? And I need to hold on, because think about it. When you hold on to the harness and that horse starts bucking, you gotta, like, that horse is going to be moving. And so if you let go of that harness, what do you think will happen? You can get thrown off, right? You've seen, the movies, or even like they even have where it's a competition. Guys get on the bull. They get on the electric bull, right? They get on an electric bull and they see how long they can stay on it. But then there's the guys in Mexico that they actually ride the bull. They ride the bull. They got a bit, but here's the thing. They don't start until they are holding on the harness, because they know that if they're not connected to this harness, they will get thrown off even faster. And then there's times when they actually don't get thrown off. We're talking about profitable faith today. And we're talking about harnessing, grabbing a hold of our belief, right? So if I'm going to grab a hold of my belief, remember, we're looking for a triumph. We're looking to win. We're looking to get to the point where I'm holding on and it didn't throw me off, or I'm holding on to I've held on so long that I actually get the reward. See, a man or a woman of faith that goes into business, now they don't know this going in. Like I didn't know it going in. I just felt it. I says, man, I should be in business. Now here's the thing. How many times did I get thrown off? How many times you gonna get thrown off the bull? And man, I've gotten thrown off so many times. Like I can sit here and I can get emotional about it because of how many times I've been thrown off the bull. And then I have to get back up and get back on it. It's kind of like, I remember, having a lot of having more success than I'd ever had before in my life. And, the money was coming in. We're doing like life was good. And then I let go of the harness for some reason, and the harness threw my behind off. And I mean, if it was, I probably got hurt. I probably got hurt when I got thrown off the harness. And so by the time I got back on the harness, I just kept getting thrown off. You just keep getting thrown off the harness. We're talking about profitable faith today, and we're talking about harnessing belief. We're talking about like a business person who goes into business is a man or woman of faith. And so the harness, what the harness represents, it represents that you're going to have to hold on for dear life. That's what the harness represents. If we go get on a horse, if we don't hold on, right? Now, the horse may just trot around and may not be moving too fast, and you can get away with not holding on, right? But if that horse starts running fast, come on. If you go to the Kentucky Derby and you see these guys on the horses, what you're going to see is people holding on to the harness. And in those cases, they're using the harness to actually dictate to the horse what to do. So we've got one harness where we just hold on for dear life. Then we got the other harness where we're telling that operator, that the one that's riding the horse is telling the horse literally how fast to go, and it's pointing them in the right direction. So when we're talking about harnessing belief for business, so that we can triumph, we must know that there's a hold on for dear life, because there's going to be a time when that has to happen. Man, I've been holding on for dear life. And then there's a time when you got to actually direct. You have to direct where it is that you're going. And so this newfound belief that I know that I've had to come under for this business triumph, it's real and it's serious. It's not to be played with, because imagine this. Let's look at the world today. Let's just have a look at the world, and let's see who's harnessing. What type of persons are harnessing these types of beliefs, right? Because if we just look at the people that we emulate, I love to use athletes, because athletes have to harness a belief like no other. Here's the thing about an athlete. And I'll just use basketball because I was a basketball player. Everybody wants to play basketball. And you got kids in every gym looking to play basketball. And so if that is the case, then you're going to have to harness a belief. Now, the thing about that is that what it looks like everybody can do. Everybody cannot be a professional basketball player. There's not enough spots. So when you think about someone who goes into professional sports and actually gets there, man, I was watching an interview. Some basketball players. I think it's the podcast where you've got Matt Barnes and the other guy, Jackson. I think I'm trying to remember his first name, but can't remember it. They got the podcast, and they're interviewing a guy named Joe Johnson, if you're familiar with Joe. Joe Johnson was talking about something that happened to him his rookie year. Coming to the league, he's playing for Boston. He's playing with Paul Pierce. He's playing with Antoine. What you call him? Can't remember his last name. But they had a stack squad. And one of the main guys got hurt. And so this guy gets hurt, and then he had to start. But they were playing the Wizards that night. He says this was the year when Michael Jordan had just come back. He had just come back from being retired. And here it is. He is in his late 30s. Joe Johnson, and they tell Joe, Paul Pierce said, Joe, man, you're going to have to check Jordan tonight. Now, I get him in the fourth quarter, but you're going to have to check him. And he was just like, yo, the thing about Jordan is that you still couldn't stop him. Like he still had 30 something. He still got 30 something. Because here's the thing. When you're talking about being a professional, like there are levels. There are levels to the game of being a professional. Now, if we just take this and apply it to business, we apply it to the accounting field, we apply it to whatever field people are in, and what we have to realize is that to get to that level of not just breakthrough and triumph, but the level when we really kind of like get to the top. Like, but who's trying to get to the top? Now, in professional sports, everybody's trying to get to the league. But in life and business, where are people really trying to go? See, profitable faith and then harnessing this belief is saying, you know what, there's room for me where I'm going. Because here's the thing, unlike professional sports and athletes, unlike where there's limited spots for everybody, I can guarantee you that there is a one of one. There's a one of one with what you have to do. There's a one of one what I have to do. And can't nobody beat you. See, but it's harnessing the belief that that's true. And knowing that, you know what, I don't have to compete. I'm so good at the thing that I do that nobody can beat me. I'm a professional, but here's the thing, nobody can take my spot. Wherein in the NBA, somebody can take your spot. In the NFL, somebody can take your spot. Good. Hey, good morning, Sonia. How are you doing? In the end, when we take our faith, right? When we take our faith, because look, faith is profitable. Look, I don't care what nobody say. Faith is profitable. Now, here's the thing about this profitable faith and getting to the point where we triumph. It's going to come down to holding on. You're going to have to hold on for dear life. You're going to have to hold, because look, in the beginning, and so back in 2019, when I came into the kingdom, God showed me something. Here's what God showed me. He showed me how the connection to him works. And I don't have anything that I can use, right? Because on my chart, I'm going to use this. I have, this is the end of some headphones. I'm sorry, end of a headphone. Imagine this headphone. This headphone can only work when it's plugged into something that actually it can receive from. But if I take this headphone, I have headphones. I could use this one. I have headphones. I have these headphones. I barely can see them because of it. I have headphones here. It's connected to my microphone. I can unplug it. And here's the thing. If I unplug it, it won't be connected. And if I take the connection and put it near the plug, it still won't be connected. If I take the connection and be around the plug, it still won't be connected. It's only when the plug is fully in that it's connected and it can receive and it can send out whatever waves it needs to send. God said, it's just like that when you connect to me. You can't be connected to me by not being connected. You have to be fully connected. I'm getting to where I'm going. I'm gonna let you go right after this. When you put it in, when you put your connection into who God is in your life, what happened? I'm gonna tell you. That's what I'm saying. You got to hold on for dear life. There is an energy surge that comes from the power that God is, and because the surge comes, it takes plugs that aren't grounded and it knocks them out. Jesus talked about this. Jesus talked about through his parable of the seeds and how some seeds just don't even get planted. They have no root. Some seeds just get eaten up by the sun. So if that is the case, then when we get plugged in, we got to hold, you got to hold on. You got to take the harness and you got to hold it and you got to say, Lord, oh Lord, I'm not going to let go. I'm going to hold on until. I'm going to hold on until my breakthrough. I'm going to hold on until the triumph, and I'm never going to let go. Because then once I get a feel for holding on, then what happens is, here's what happens. Then you can start steering. Then now you're like the one at the Kentucky Derby that's riding the horse and it's telling the horse what to do. It's like, yeah, horse, go faster. Oh, horse, slow down. Horse, go faster. Slow down. That's how it's going to work for us in business. But here's the thing. As a close, here's the thing. Many of us, when we get knocked off the horse and we fall down and we hurt ourselves, we don't get back on. Or when we do get back on, we're so tentative that we won't hold on anymore. And we just keep falling off. And then we figure things aren't going to work out for me. But not you. No, not you. Harness, hold on to your belief that what God said about you, right? And if you don't know what God said about you, I'm going to tell you how you can know what God said about you. Say, I am, right? Say, I am. And then after I am, say something good. That's what God said about you. That's how you know God said something good about you. Because when you say, I am healthy, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am good, I am all that I could ever be in the eyes of my Father. Listen, when you say, I am whatever and it's good, that's what he said about you. How do I know? Amen. That's my assertion today. Take this quick lesson that we've discovered here in how to have profitable faith by harnessing your belief, and your business triumph will be coming soon after. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Make sure you share this episode with others who may be looking to harness their faith so that they can actually have that business breakthrough and business triumph. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.